Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to the stream. It's November 16th, and it's 7:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Started a little bit later behind schedule today, just because there wasn't really anything going on, and I think it's really important as traders to use our energy as wisely as possible. If that's taking a nap, if nothing's going on, if it's, doing something else. In a way, it's relaxing. On the other side, it's distracting yourself as well. Because if you look at a chart that's bad long enough, like the SPY yesterday, eventually, this was really bad yesterday. Eventually, you're going to see a move and you're going to trade it. And that's what we did here. When I finally thought there was capitulation, I started shorting here by buying puts. I actually averaged higher somewhere in this area. No, actually I chased right here. I averaged higher here in this area, which was really bad. And then it popped up and I ended up cutting my losses, and I was a little bit slow on that. And, yesterday there was just nothing really that great setting up. And that's what I was talking about yesterday for most of the day. So in those kind of situations, it's nice to just be able to end early or start late. And I think that's something that is great about this career path. But it's something that we don't utilize nearly as much as we should. So it's really important to take as much time off as possible. Good to see everyone in the Discord and the YouTube chat room. Morning, guys. Paul was actually calling out GRAB earlier, and actually doesn't look so bad. As you guys know, I'm typically not trading tickers when they're below 40%. Sometimes I do. This one actually had a pretty decent amount of volume that came in here. So who knows? Maybe there could have been some trades there. But let's see if there's a little bit more momentum on this ticker. So far, I have no trades. I also have, just for transparency, as you see here, I have no open... What happens if you click place a trade? Oh, I have no open positions either right now, which isn't exactly normal. Good news is yesterday I actually did do one more very quick trade, as you guys saw in the Discord if you checked it out. It wasn't really anything to run home about. It was actually very weird. So if I just show you guys right here, and I didn't make that much money on it. So the SPY sold off, and I actually had one of my one limit orders on a put, which was way down here. It got filled, and then I realized that. And so if you see it coming down here, I actually bought more in this area. So if we scroll down here, this is where my limit order got filled on the, actually it was a call. So it wasn't a put. It would have been great if it was a put, and then I could have closed here for a bigger size. So it was a call that pulled back, and then I actually ended up sizing nicely here. It pulled back one more time. I cut my losses. It popped up. I re-entered, and then I took some profits here. So my execution was just one hair off, unfortunately, because this could have been a pretty nice win. So it ended up being more or less a scratch because I cut like $200, or I was down like 200, then I cut half my position, then it popped back up, I was in the green, and then I re-added into the position. So it ended up being a scratch. But yesterday I was down, I think in the end I ended the day down only like $300 and something as opposed to like 450. So wasn't bad. GRAB breaking out. They have that press conference at 7 a.m. So it looks like they're up on earnings. which is better than estimated, still negative. I don't really like the 5-minute setup, but that's actually a decent amount of volume there, so always the best thing to do in these situations ahead of time before the stock really starts moving or not is lay down some substantial lines here where there's major price action. So around 420 or so, there's definitely an interesting amount of price action. And then again, somewhere here around 36, 37. I think that's all I really want to chart out for now. Maybe I'll do one more level here around 615 or so. So right now, we're at one of those first major zones. We came up to around that 370 zone almost perfectly before pulling back. There's probably much more support somewhere here at like 3536. Bitcoin pulling back quickly right now. So, and coin pulling back quickly right now. But it looks like it just popped right back up again. So yesterday the SPY ended up falling off a cliff because, we'll review this in a second, but it's extremely important. Zoom out here, good till cancel. So right around this area there was, I felt like something was going to give at one point. I didn't know if we were going to break to the upside or the downside. Eventually there is a, well, we'll see what the news says today, but basically some bombs exploded in Poland. Everyone instantly thought it was Russia, which is a little bit weird because why would Russia attack Poland? They're having enough to do in Ukraine fairly unsuccessfully. So why would they attack Poland? Now Biden came out saying it doesn't look like it was an attack from Russia. Anyway, if you were on looking at any sort of memes yesterday or news yesterday, everyone was like World War III. Because an attack on Poland is an attack on NATO, and that will be retaliated against. It's pretty much very clear on that front. So let's see what the news says about it today. We'll definitely be diving into it more. Cash Grinder is giving us a good reminder that retail sales come out at 8:30, so let's actually start with that. There's also a video I'm going to be coming out with later today. Stay tuned for that. It's going to drop at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so roughly after the stream. And if you guys do want to know where I am always looking, or all the websites I check out every morning, check out this video here, 29 trading websites I check every morning. I think this will be very helpful, especially if you are just asking yourself, what am I checking out, or wondering if you missed anything. I also have a little bit of the meme I made here. I'm not sure if you guys seen it, but it really summarizes the whole story of what's been going on. So let's actually start here with Morning Brew. So the markets in general, even with all the bad news, did actually close the day green. And I think a big reason for that is because we had a big gap up day yesterday. So let me just quickly zoom out to the SPY on the 5-minute. because this looks a little crazy because the day before, so Monday was kind of chop action followed by a huge capitulation in the afternoon. And then we had a massive gap up day, like almost 2% is when we actually opened. Then we had a lot of consolidation and then fell off a cliff. So still, and then we rallied again when it didn't look like it was actually Russia attacking. So basically yesterday, despite all the chaos, ended up green, with the NASDAQ up over 1.5 and Dow up only 0.1%. TSMC up 10.52%. If you guys remember, TSMC is one of the top 14 biggest companies in the world. This used to be a little bit higher, but it's actually crawling up again because it did have a mega sell-off. So they've been ripping up here. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. And right now, a lot of world leaders are talking in the South Asia. So very front and center, that company right now. Let's see here. Stocks returned to their winning ways after another inflation report. This one focused on wholesale prices came in cooler than expected. Wholesale prices. So the PPI, so we have the CPI, Consumer Price Index, and then we have the PPI, Produce Price Index. That one came in yesterday, cooler than expected. Both this report and the last week's CPI hint that the Fed could begin to reduce the size of interest rate hikes going forward. Of the many tech stocks that gained yesterday was the Taiwan Semiconductor, which surged after Warren Buffett revealed he took a stake in the company. All right, so that's a big catalyst there. And just quickly going back to this one. So retail sales month over month come out at 830. I don't usually see this one making a big difference, but we'll keep an eye out for 830 for sure. It's crazy how much macro news comes out every day lately. Former President Trump back at it again, announces candidacy. We were talking about that a little bit in the Discord. The establishment Republicans do not want him in. It seems like he might become a significant drag for the GOP. Yeah, that's what they were talking about in the All In podcast as well. It looks like NASA finally launched Armedius. I'm surprised they have the picture of it, but they don't actually. Let's see, maybe they do talk about it a little bit. A mysterious missile struck Poland. This is the one we really want to focus on right now. And hold on, what's going on with Sbfm? Big breakout there. Volume's actually quite okay on this one. Spread is pretty horrible. 5-minute breakout. Right now it's crawling back the 5-minute, so you got to watch out there. Bigger support, though, should be coming in. Nice initial pop. It's like collaboration news. Possible entry at 107 if it keeps getting chipped here. Jumping in at 107. I'm not sure if it's going to hold this area, so I'm just going to do very small size to see how this ticker behaves. Good chance it might pull back again. Still holding. Going for that pop. Let's see if we can get that last pop here over 110. Stopping out. Back at a potentially good entry here off of VWAP. It's a little tricky trading this one with 2 orders, so I'm actually just going to increase my initial entry. Quickly had to stop out there. It did actually recover really fast. I stopped out at 6.5. It was a little glitchy on TOS. Down at 101. Looks like in general I'm up on this ticker on Sbfm. This was a really nice breakout on Sbfm. Like we were trading it when it was at $6. How crazy is that? This was a pretty nice front side on this one. It's crazy how much this ticker has depreciated. $1.05 is major resistance. 105 as well. Yeah, it breaks below VWAP. Not so nice. Let's quickly go back to this Russian attack on Poland. Amid a barrage of Russian attacks on Ukraine, one missile struck Poland and killed 2 people. The explosion is raising alarms because Poland is a member of NATO, and the attack on one NATO country could compel all others to join the fight. But it's not clear whether this missile actually came from Russia. Poland said it was a Russian-made missile, while President Biden, who convened an emergency meeting of world powers following the missile strike, said it was unlikely that Russia fired it. It's true, it is quite unlikely that Russia fired it. It wouldn't make any sense. FTX is really popular among regulators. That's good. The bankrupt crypto exchange said in court documents it's been in contact with dozens of regulatory authorities around the globe. which are prying into the shady business practices that led to FTX epic collapse. As all that's going down, FTX revealed it could have more than 1 million creditors who are owed money that it doesn't have. Former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried has reportedly been trying to raise funds to make users whole. Sure. That guy's the virtual signaling king. This is a really good song, this country song here about poker. Gotta know when to hold 'em and know when to fold 'em. Oh, it makes me want to listen to it. Play a good game of poker. Big tech pulls back on futuristic bets. Let's see, Amazon that cut like 10,000 employees already. Let's see, they're focusing on cutting AI assistant Alexa. That division has an operating loss of more than $5 billion per year. How do you lose $5 billion per year? That's a little bit like Meta losing $25 billion a year on their division. The metaverse division. Let's see, the hedge fund at TCI Fund Management, which has a $6 billion stake in Alphabet, urged Google's parent company to join its big tech peers in laying off workers yesterday, saying it's overstaffed and paying its employees too much. That probably makes sense. It took specific aim at Google's famous other bets division that incubated moonshot projects like Waymo, the autonomous vehicle company. The other bets unit brought in $3 billion in revenue over the last 5 years, but incurred $20 billion in operating losses. TCI's letter to CEO Sundar Pichai said, yeah, so far it seems like Grab is going to be a bit of a grinder. Sbfm pretty much sold off totally. We got Lizzie back at it again, if you guys remember her. But so far stuck under VWAP, not so interesting. That's actually pretty cool that Apple's doing this like SOS service if there's no reception. It'll be free for 2 years, and then we'll see. Seems like one of those things that you don't really know when you need it. I'm going to be right back, guys. Beyonce and Jay-Z are tied. Let's see, for 88 nominations, for most nominations in history. It's crazy. I think the things like FTX put such a bad name on crypto. In really, I think that's just human nature, and yeah, crypto needs to figure out a way to avoid these kind of things, and that really comes with regulation and oversight. And that's why I'm constantly a big advocate for Coinbase, because yeah, the fees are a little bit higher there, but you get regulation and oversight with Coinbase. Four University of Idaho students were found dead off campus. Likely died from an edge weapon such as a knife. What? That sounds like a horror movie. What's going on now? Wow, that's so sketchy. Goldman Sachs paid more than $12 million in a departing exec who accused senior leaders of overseeing a toxic workplace for women and making vulgar comments about them. Estee Lauder will buy Tom Ford for $2.8 billion in testament to enduring power of perfume. You pretty much can't trust the New York Times, honestly. Kind of makes me wonder if I should remove the Times. But I do like the fact that I can hear a little bit more of a left voice and then get some more center and then right. It is kind of nice. One sec. I'll be right back. Oh god, that's already me. I got some serious tendinitis. Bitcoin crawling back up, actually quite strong. SPY as well. So it looks like those reports that we were expecting, the retail sales actually are making a bit of a difference here. Usually I don't feel like those make up too much of a movement, up 5%. Actual now at 1.3. Well, I guess the good news about Bitcoin selling off, this is a classic ascending channel, by the way. This is right now what we're seeing with the SPY. Let me just quickly show you guys. The SPY on, let's go to a 15-minute. That's too little. Let's go to a 4-hour. We're exactly in an ascending channel. These are very bearish patterns, but we might get that last move up to like 420 or so. But once that area breaks and doesn't hold, we might really start a very strong downtrend. So that's what I'm a little bit worried about trading in this area. You saw it with Bitcoin here as well. And this was actually part of a larger channel here that was forming. These ascending channels are just never really that nice. So we'll see what happens, but it kind of feels like the sell-off on Bitcoin is, I mean, it wasn't like a huge capitulation. I mean, it was big, but it wasn't percent-wise as bad. This was a 40% capitulation. This was, or I think roughly the same here, 44% capitulation. So the one we recently had was only like a 20, 28, 30% capitulation. Is it next week already? Yeah, next week Thursday is the half day. I think I might even take fully off on Thanksgiving Day. We'll see what happens. So markets are only trading till I think 1 p.m., but I'm kind of thinking about taking Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday just totally off. I think that'd probably be a good idea. Sometimes when I take a few days off, because that would allow 3 days plus the weekend, we're talking about a 5-day break. And sometimes that's exactly what you need to, take a step back. Now, it doesn't mean I totally wouldn't trade. Maybe I would have some charts open, and if I saw a really good setup, I would jump on it. But in terms of like being attentive every day, if I want to just go to the park for 3 hours, so be it. Just being a little bit more flexible with my schedule. So next week looks like could be a big recharge the batteries week. What's everyone doing for Thanksgiving? Any big plans? I usually am in the States for Thanksgiving. This is very unusual that I'm actually not in the States. One sec. I feel like we say that a lot, Polnack. I totally agree. Polnack was just saying it's the deadest he's seen pre-market. Yeah, it's pretty snooze fest out here. Let's review a little bit here what we think is going to go on with the SPY. So I've already talked about what I think more on the 4 hour, but let's focus a little bit more on today. We kind of had that false narrative for a second that Russia, threw bombs at Poland, which already sounds suspicious to begin with. Anyway, it turned out not to be true. Still more details coming out on that, but it seems like the SPY is still overall pretty bullish. More month-over-month retail numbers coming out, looking good. Sales. I do think we might see that break over 404, get to that last little push here above, and then maybe even into the 410s, possibly even 420, but I think that's really, really high. I wouldn't be surprised if after that we started seeing that capitulation. So today could just be another day of like we've been seeing, where it's a little bit choppy. And actually, I think it's probably good to note that after a big rally, sometimes you start seeing more range trading. So what I'm looking for today is the ability to maybe get into some of these ranges. So we have a big range at 394. Let's just go ahead and identify that. And actually, let's just move to the 15-minute, get a little bit better view of this. So 94. Let's go ahead and put that down. And I would probably argue we have another high right around here at like 400. That's just a really psychological strong zone. So let's go to the 4 hour and kind of look at this even a little bit better. So we have a few retests here in this area, and then the 400 right up here, acting a bit of as a very serious psychological zone. I'm not sure if we can get on that for, no, it doesn't look like it. We'll just memorize that for now. We can move this one a little bit further. So if we do see any sort of bouncing here roughly at 394, this could be a really good area to take advantage of a little bit of a bounce. So let's say there's a sell-off here to about 394. There's probably a good chance we'll see at least a dead cat bounce. If it does break, but it's weak and it bounces right above, that could be a really good entry. So let's just keep an eye on 394 on the SPY for possible pivots, depending on the price action we get around 394, right? Does it break? Does it have a lot of volume? What's going to happen, right? So we'll kind of play that, but for now, keeping an eye on 400 and 394 are very significant. Damn, that spam bot was destroyed real quick. Nice work, guys. Nice work marking it as spam. DWAC having some difficulties, tried to break out yesterday. This one's been kind of moving a lot because of the Trump's presidency. This could actually bounce at some point really nicely. Just basically had a 20+% sell-off. Massive capitulation on it. Definitely want to keep an eye on it though. Coins coming down to a really significant zone. Let's quickly check that out. So we have some of these swing trades looking quite interesting. Look at INDI just falling off a cliff, really heavy right now. Coin down 4% this morning. A little bit of an unusual sell-off. I'm not long on this ticker. I've been waiting to find a good entry on it. Right now it did capitulate a bit under the 180 SMA. So let's just see what happens. This is actually very bullish because we were in an ascending channel and we actually ended up holding longer than expected. So I think any pullbacks on this ticker, especially around 50 or so, could be really good buying opportunities. We have a lot of support in this area as well. This is where we bounced off of yesterday. So just really important to keep these zones in check. Let's see how we break down below 52, come into the 50 territory, see if we can hold that. We also have just insane amount of support right here around 47. So all of these could be pretty good zones. So these are very short-term trend lines, so I don't want to put too much emphasis on them, but they can be quite significant. Just you gotta know where there are those key 4-hour bounce territories. It's a little bit hard to just increase the length of some of these lines because you don't know how straight you're drawing them. It's a little bit tough, but as long as we're in the general vicinity, I guess that's fine. And then one more over here. This one I keep going overshooting and undershooting. So yeah, we're coming to a significant zone. Obviously 50 is really significant area. It does seem to always crack a little bit. But if we crack this 42 zone, I would be looking for some bounces off 50. If we crack 50, I'd be looking really for some strong entries around 48 without a question. Right now we are a little bit on a backside, but I don't really see a total capitulation on coin. Jeff is saying, can't I click extend to right? Maybe. Have I been doing this wrong? Extend to the right. Oh. Oh my. Oh, you just changed my life. What happens if I make a shorter line, let's say here, and I say extend to the right? How far to the right does it go? 4 hour. It's hard to say how far it goes. Oh, then it just keeps going. I don't really want it to just keep going. I kind of want it to limit it. So I have price level that goes, that goes for forever, right? That's easy, but I don't want those. I just kind of want a short line, like, here we have a little bit of movement. I'm not sure if you can just extend it like one more day or something like that. But yeah, I guess in theory I could use that option as well. Looks like we got a new ticker popping up, BEAT. Up at 4.5, big resistance here at 4.5. But if we hold this and break it, this could be actually pretty good. 50,000 shares isn't too bad. Pulling back still on the 5-minute. Got a lot of support in the mid to low 20s on the 5-minute. Would be maybe worth seeing if we can get an initial entry on this one soon. Now we're crawling down the backside of the 4 or 5 minute candle. These are the ones you have to be a little bit more careful on. Still, the bid is strong, but if it does chip, I mean, we have a lot of support around 4.2, so it actually doesn't look so bad. I'm going to keep an eye on it. First trade would be smaller size. No wind, hold up. Still chipping here. The spread is pretty heavy on this one. New patent catalyst. Now the ask is really crawling towards it. It's not a bullish setup yet. You could trade for the anticipation of the break of VWAP, but it's just not a bullish setup yet until the 5 minute is making new highs, at least over the close. Exactly, pull neck. GRAB broke VWAP, doesn't look good. Coin at that critical 53 zone and high 52s. I think we could get a pretty interesting sell-off and possible bounce on coin. So that's really what I'm going to be looking for. I think so far it's probably my most interesting potential. Here goes beat for that break of VWAP. Jumping on this one. Small size, very small size. 21. Let's see it get shipped here. I just want to kind of gauge the strength of this ticker. Not so strong. I'm going to stop out. I was kind of hoping we get like a boom, boom, boom. Usually if I don't trade it, I don't focus on it so much. So I'll go in with small size to get a little bit feel for the order flow. So this one was very weak. Should have been over 100,000 shares at this point as well, but you know, it is a weak market. So sometimes you do see some pretty interesting moves with like 40 to 50,000 shares. But yeah, so little scratch trade there. It didn't fully capitulate, so maybe it's going to try again. Look how dark it is already over here. The amount of sunlight we get a day is very, very low. Negligible is another word. That perfectly describes it. DWAC, buying maybe a backside bounce on that one, and maybe a backside bounce on coin is actually probably how I want to trade today. Unless something really new and significant pops up. Those, to me, look like the most potential, for sure. Got to know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold 'em. Omar says he's got an idea for a future video, creating a watch list for large cap stock gappers. You know, I don't even really have a watch list for large cap gappers. I kind of just have like meme stocks on my swing trades right here. And I kind of just focus in on coin and similar industry tickers. I know that, let's say, Square and PayPal aren't exactly similar, but they're a little bit in that payment process world. And they offer, at least Square, some crypto options. I'm just not really sure how much value I could bring out of a video like that. So I would almost be saying like pick one, just keep watching it and try to really understand it. But I'll think about it. I'll add it to the list for sure. Know when to hold 'em. All right, add it to the list. So SPY November 22nd puts were actually the first thing I traded yesterday in terms of options. If I just held this one a little bit longer, not a little bit, quite a lot longer, we would have been green pretty nicely. Look at this, had an over 100% rally. But it wasn't really until the SPY really fell off a cliff after the reports came out of Poland getting it, having some bombs going off there. The other ticker I traded, or the other call that I traded was, actually it was a call, and this time I traded it off the floor, and this is what I made a little bit of money on when it came back on that dead cat bounce on SPY. Maybe I'll trade those two. Both of them, I think they end this week, so that's kind of interesting. But at this point, the calls are in the, no, the puts are in the money, so they would be more expensive. Typically, I'm trading out of the money, but to be honest, I don't have like a really good reason for that. Grab back above VWAP and DWAC breaking that really critical 24 zone. I think DWAC could be a really nice bounce though. $15 more minutes before the market opens. Coin looks like it's due for another round of capitulation. That's true, John. But you got to get past the hurdle first, right? It took me the small account challenge took me about like 6 months, and then I was over minimum wage. Really, I spent a lot of time focusing and studying and researching. So if you're in that grind phase, you just got to get through it. I did have experience though, and I was a profitable trader with crypto, so I did understand a lot more. So I wouldn't be surprised if it took, a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But it's definitely not something you can just expect to walk in and start doing. Sometimes, and I see this a lot, is like people that are totally new will just come in and they'll just have like 3 or 4 really good trades, like really big size. Boom, they made 5,000-10,000. I see this a lot. And then the consistency comes in. Then it's like, oh, can we repeat that? Especially during the 2020 and 2021 rally. Because it was like any mistake you made was almost rewarded back then. So it's like, can you consistently do that? And that's where things get a little bit trickier, especially in 2022. This has probably been one of the toughest years to be a trader. And you could tell a lot by like trading YouTube channels. They're just not really growing right now either. I feel like a lot of people have fled to the space. Just like NFTs, they're also down like 90% of volume. So, you just compare that to day trading, and it's pretty much the same situation down, I don't actually know what the statistics is, but it's definitely not at the highs it was. All right, we got 10 more minutes here. I guess I'll stand up for the open. Get a little bit blood flow going here to the legs. Coin looks like it's ready to crack. Man, Colby just sent us a freaking like a whole book here that we got to read, because I asked the question. Let's see. He classifies trading in three categories. You know what? It would just be easier if I took a screenshot and moved it over here. So he says, it really depends. Let's see, for scalping, I'm looking for bigger size and good liquidity. So I'm doing either first contract out of the money or first contract in the money. First contract out of the money and the first contract in the money. I'm not sure if I totally understand the first point. Leave it to Bullneck to find the perfect meme. Yeah, so basically the longer the hold, the further he goes away from being in or out of the money. That makes sense. And deeper into the expirations, yeah. So I agree. This is what I was doing for trading on the scalps. I pretty much went close to in or out of the money with pretty big size, with very close expirations. And I also did the same thing here for swing trading or riding the trend. I would pretty much just back up a little bit more, bigger expirations, bigger time frames. You also can get more options for cheaper, which trade a hold is a supply zone or a big level one. Super small size on this with deep out of the money because more lottery stuff. Yeah, so anything you hold very long, you just want to be very, very, have a lot of expiration. Obviously, it's going to cost you, so it's always a trade-off. But yeah, day trading, you don't need a lot of expiration. I totally feel you there. Coin just had a capitulation and a rebound all like instantly. Really nice. It's kind of what we were waiting for here. Let's focus on this one at the open. I really like the fact that it's selling off and it's having divergence where the MACD is starting to come down a little bit. I would like to see more sell-off below 52 though, for sure. I'm not sure if we're gonna get it, but if we do have that continuation here, something like this where we sell off a little bit more, we find support, and then we shoot back up. So that's what I would like to see. What we might get though is just like a little bit of a bounce and then we get that break. Could also be an option. Yeah, Jeremy, I can't wait for the next bull run either. I feel like once you're geared up and you know what you're doing, and then there's a bull run that comes around, you can really, that's where you can make those couple $1 million in a year. And then a year like 2020 comes around, or 2022, and you just gotta freaking hold on for dear life, or walk away and come back. All right, guys, good luck, everyone. DWAC back above 24 and Coinbase bouncing as well, but we could get a continued trend sell-off, so that's what I'm looking for. We've had some pretty strong moves on coin, 9-10%. That's kind of what we're seeing right now to the downside. Maybe we'll get a even more sell-off, but I think anything under 52 might be a good buy, and I'll probably start accumulating. Grab really falling off a cliff. Ten seconds. Good luck, everyone. There's coin dipping down a bit. Instantly recovered though. Strong recovery. Got a lot of alerts going off right now. Square pulling back as well. Four-week out on coin. Wow, just had a huge move. Pulled back again right away. Grab had a huge move up as well. Total capitulation then popped up 4%. Quite impressive, actually. Big doji on coin. So I'd be looking for a coin to make a move back above 60 in the next couple weeks. Obviously that's going to be a little bit more pricey. 65 you really get a major discount. I'm just going to put one share for now just to kind of track this one. Put it to 250. This way, if there's a big sell-off on coin, I could just follow the chart and jump on it a little bit more aggressively. I wouldn't be surprised if it did kind of pull back to some of these former big support zones. So that's what I would be looking for. So I'll actually leave this one on here, good till cancel, just so I have this on. So we have a 4-week time frame on this. Bit of a doji, a lot of indecision here on coin right now. Square, similar situation. Nice move on grab, still continuing that front side pop. I really like the volume on grab. I really am a big fan of the volume. We got big resistance at 3.5. We reclaimed that territory, gapped up, and we could run to 3.6, 7 or so. Good 5-minute breakout. We still have some support right below 350 or so. Coin's having a really strong bounce off that key 52 zone that we were talking about. It's up already 3%, pretty impressive. Kind of struggling here, grab. Impressive rebound on grab, without a question. Very impressive. Volume faded a little bit too fast on this ticker. You typically want to see volume increasing and not decreasing. I think this is a bit of a bull trap on everything. Coins, Square, DWEC, Grab, SPY, everything kind of popped higher. But it's still in a downtrend. We're still seeing an overall downtrend. So I'm not sure how aggressive I want to be getting on these names. I was kind of hoping we'd get a little bit more of a pullback here. I would have jumped on it. Felt a little bit comfortable buying in that zone. I think there's a good chance we might find that support around 394 on the SPY. Maybe we'll get a fake breakout, but ultimately we could be setting ourselves up for a really good move higher over the next, till the end of the week. Grab float at 3.6 billion. It's 3.6 billion. That's huge. Wow, yeah, that's, and the shares outstanding are insane. So if we go back to puts at 398, this would be in the money. So that's a 10% move. And if we have, let's say 6 out of the money on these puts, roughly the same, actually a little bit more, 13-14%. DWAC hit 23. It's an aggressive sell-off. SPY looking a little bit tough here, but I wouldn't be buying just yet any puts. Coin actually looks like it's capitulating even more. Jewel is calling out INM. Yeah, it's not bad, but it doesn't have enough volume. Grab is having a big capitulation. It's starting to get more volume though. I mean, this candle really came up, huh? Coin selling off as well. INM pushing higher. Giving INM a little bit more time here to pick a direction. Holding this area really well. Volume's a little bit light. Definitely doesn't have enough volume on this candle to continue running is what it feels like. Maybe it's going to pick up, and we still have 15, 14 seconds. So close to breaking new highs. So close. I'd be a little bit nervous if I was in on this one right now. Could continue holding though. It might come right back into place pretty shortly. Pulled back to VWAP. Held at 97. Grab fell off a cliff. New minute right now. Support came in on INM, actually pretty nice. Small size at 97. Looking for that break back over 4. Grab just really fell off a cliff, heavy. I'm not expecting a full reversal and a new high over 423 unless it proves itself. It can really start crawling higher and the 5-minute goes above 410. So for now, I'm just small size. Maybe we'll get a bounce back above 4. So let's see, 406 still acting as big time resistance on this one. Could be a little bit stronger. There's a big ask there at 4. It's a little uncomfortable. New 5 minutes setting up. Giving this one a little bit more time. I'm going to stop out. I just don't know if this is going to be the ticker that has that huge fake out and shorts on us. So I'm taking those profits off the table on INM. Maybe we're going to get a break over 4.2. Good call, Jules, on INM. I'm not super confident of that continuation over 4.2, back over 4.2. Oof, yeah, there it is. I didn't like the 5-minute setup. That was my big red flag. MACD was technically okay, but the 5-minute was what kept me at bay. Coin still looks like an overall downwards trend. If we did want to trade on this one, we'd probably need to switch. SPY 1 minute had a very strong rejection. DWAC could be a really good trade, honestly. Look at the sell-off in DWAC. At one point, it's going to find somewhat of a floor, but it's just not really like my kind of ticker. Markets are overall red. Interesting. Jules, from the large cap. And the calls on coin are pretty expensive, below 50. I mean, the puts, I'm not in, it's hard to say. I mean, right now we're in a kind of a confirmed bear trend, but we're still in an overall kind of range. We did break that range a bit. SPY has some more downside to go. Buying some puts on the SPY could be an interesting way to go about today because there's still more downside potential on this one. So I'm just going to put it on my order book to keep track of this one. Getting a more aggressive position could be interesting. On coin in terms of end of the week calls going back above, I don't know, 52 or so. These would have to be I think that could be an interesting. These are down a lot, so they're going to be way more volatile. You can see they have just a lot more volume in them as well. So last time we had a big capitulation under 52, right here in this area. We actually bounced off of it fairly fast. I'm not sure. Maybe we're going to get a good crawl to 50, a full crawl to 50. Maybe we're going to even break 50. SPY is still selling off. That could have been a really nice entry on SPY. I think if I didn't take the trade on, if I didn't trade the I&M trade, I would have probably taken the SPY puts. I didn't want to trade two things at once over there. Possible entries on SPY that expire weekly. I'm not sure if we'll get a. I want to see a move over 396.5 on the SPY. So you can see the 1 minute chart right here. So I'm seeing if we can get that move. I&M broke up over 4.2, back in play. Nice, good volume breakout there on I&M. 5 minutes still holding here. Could see that next move over 4-4. SPY, this is actually roughly the entry we were looking for. So I'll keep an eye on this. I'm holding better than I expected. Removed SPY for now. Jules, sorry, man. There's that capitulation we saw in SPY, really nice. I hesitated there because I was focused on Jules, which is fine. So far, Jules looks good. Maybe game the system. Maybe I'll have to update my thumbnail. Let me know if that would help. Pullback on I&M here on the 9 EMA. Nice little bottom bounce. Looking for the 9 EMA to hold and have a move back over 4-5. That was an aggressive bounce just now. Still on a front side. Still a very healthy ticker. Let's see if we can jump onto this breakout. I'm going to remove my limit order for now. I was a little bit late there. Nice, John. Slaying it on I&M. Good work. I&M very healthy in this zone. There's no reason it should stop its front side. We still got upside potential, and the 5 minutes looking really strong. Also really good volume. I like the fact that it's increasing. This is a really nice ticker so far. Let's see if it pulls back. I don't really know if it will. There's no reason it really should. But I've been kind of the king of buying grinders high. So here we go. 462 might break it out. below 4 or 5 minute. Could be a nicer setup. Try to get a fill there below 50. Got my fill there off of 46. New 5 minute candle. Right now we're still crawling backside, or at least on the 5 minute. Question is, can we get that move back above 62? That's what we're all waiting for. Nice initial pop. Actually, it looks pretty good. The bid is chasing here, so I'm going to look for that break over 62. We might see it. Taking some size off the table. Still looking for that break over 62. I would be buying more if it doesn't. Looking for that break over 62. Come on, we could have a nice breakout here. Hammer candle in the 5 minute looking really strong. Cutting a little bit more size here because I feel like it could have that one last pullback here. Ashwin, that's funny. Still trying for that break. We're still halfway through this 5 minutes. Still a little bit of a bearish 5 minute. A little bit slow. Possible move below 450. I would try for a small size under 450. We still got a bit of time in this candle. So far, it's a little bit weak here. It's a little slow, but it's still strong in general because we're holding this support zone really well. Bid came in pretty quick there. Sized in just a little bit more. I'm looking for that move over 62. Might stop out here though. Held temporarily. Bit of a grinder here. New 5-minute came up. It's actually a really nice flag pattern. I just don't know if it's going to have any more continuation in it. Just try to cut some size there. Cut it a little bit late. Oh, and instant reversal. It's actually looking very healthy here. Jumping back on at 48 if I can. And seeing if we can get that last pop over 450. That was a really strong false breakout to the downside. But we don't know yet if it's going to actually maintain this. So I jump back in, looking for that move over 55 and into the 60s. $55, there's some ass there, but it looks like it's going to get chipped. There, I think that's all I want to do on I and M for the day. Nice big volume breakout though. Coin getting that capitulation below 50. We might be doing a little bit quicker trading on some coin calls. Nice breakout on I and M. Coin had a pretty big volume break there, so you want to keep that in mind. I like the fact that this one is pulling back though. Hammer candle on the last one. Looking for a move back into the below 50 on coin. A little bit more capitulation could be quite nice. With large caps, you always got to let them move a few extra minutes, I feel like. The low was 159. I'm not sure if we can break that. Coin would really have to dump a little bit more. Watching coin on my second screen. Try to get a fill there, but I don't know if it's going to keep selling off. I want to see that move under. If we can get that last little push on coin to sell off. That was a big volume break. That is quite significant, so you do want to keep that in mind. INM is still looking pretty good. We'll definitely want to start sizing into coin longer term calls. Let's see if we can get an entry, a little entry. Still waiting for that maybe one last tick down. I'm not sure if we're going to get it. Could bounce here. I'm gonna turn on the lights a little bit. Otherwise, it's too dark. You guys don't even see me. Nice bounce there on coin. That's kind of what we were waiting for. I was thinking maybe we're going to get that last little squirt on down. So far, we're not really seeing it. Maybe this is going to be it. There was a failed move over the 9 EMA, bit of a hammer candle. Oh, but it recovered. This is a pretty strong sell-off coin had. 8% at the open, and just in general like a 10% sell-off. Very, very strong. Not to mention yesterday was a pretty significant sell-off from the highs already. Guess we'll give it a little bit more time. I would like to scale into the calls with a larger time frame. Below 47, and then anything else I would do with a shorter time frame. And look for a little bit quicker trading. So we had a pullback to 62 from 159. It's like a 10% bounce, nothing too crazy. But we are down 66 on the day. That is pretty crazy. kind of just want to watch this one on the second screen a little bit longer. Still overall in a backside. You gotta be careful with these. Coin is down 9% today, so we could easily see further backside on coin without a question. At one point it will bounce. Let's see if we can get an entry about 1.6. I would really like to see that last capitulation, so I'm constantly kind of readjusting how I want to go about it. In the meantime, I'm just going to wait here a little bit more on the sidelines, do a little bit of a review. No need to get overly aggressive right now. I do think coin has a really nice chance of popping. If it does pop, great. I won't be on it, I guess, at this point. Could see another little bit of a move down, so that would be a fun one to jump in right below 50. I'll do calls that are looking to expire a little bit sooner for some day trading, and then hopefully start sizing into some calls again for the company for a multi-week hold. Today is what, the 16th? So this could be that next attempt to move lower. Very strong sell-off we've seen on coin already. 13. We often don't get these kind of aggressive sell-offs. 8%. Got a small size on coin. Looking for maybe one more size around 154. I'm not sure if we're going to get it. About a $3,000 position here on coin. So we're up 200 on coin right now. We could see a bigger move on it. I missed my last fill, but that's fine. Only a $3,000 position size, so fairly small position size. Just had my last size that I was looking for on coin. Canceling all the other orders, so I'm going to let this one play out a little bit. We could see that last move into 49. So I have a little bit more size I could allocate. Get to like a 50 shares. But we'll see. Well, we traded quite a few tickers today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The coin whisper. I think I&M had probably the most potential today. At least for me, that's what I did the best on. Unfortunately, that last trade on I&M, I actually ended up, really cutting it at a really bad spot, and then it ended up ripping. So I could cut it here perfect low, and then it popped higher. Luckily, I bought back in, but I could have walked away with a lot more profits on IMM. But it was a nice front side for this market. I think this is the most I made on a small cap in a while. Feels refreshing, to be honest. Just small caps have been so bad lately. I had my one very quick trade on Sbfm early on. Really wasn't so interesting, not much to talk about there. We're up 300 right now. My coin calls. It's definitely a slow mover as well. I'm trying not to look at it too much. Coin could easily keep selling off here, so it's not super exciting spot for this ticker. INM is still in play, guys. Vitaly's wondering why I don't trade futures. I don't think I can trade any more than I'm already trading, guys. There's a lot I'm trading at already. That was a bigger pullback on coin there. I'm not a big fan of that. That move was pretty strong, so we'll have to hold through it. So I'm down 300 maybe on coin. No, down 150. Could be another good spot to get our full size on this one. Coin is down 10% on the day. I mean 1029, guys. Almost sized in a little bit more there. Could have been a good one. So just a little bit of a recap for the day so far. We made $618 today. I actually made obviously a little bit more, 621, but after fees comes out to 618. I'm still holding the coin call trade, so we'll see how that one performs. 66% win ratio. I didn't do that many trades. I mean, I only did 6 trades today. It's a very, very small amount. Largest losing trade, only down 1%. So that's really good. So I really maintained, and I was able to keep a lot of the profits today. I think that's how I did really well. So I'm really happy about that. I&M really gave us some good opportunities, and I feel like I didn't totally let them go to waste this time. I was able to take advantage of most of it. I missed it right here. I wasn't looking at I&M at this point, but this is probably the best setup right here when it went back above VWAP. So that was probably nicest. Also, Vitaly, another reason I just don't trade futures is because I feel like you really want to focus on one thing at a time. Right now, it probably doesn't even look like I'm focusing on one thing at a time, but I've been day trading small cap momentum front side now for about 2 years, pretty much purely. And I'm just starting to branch out into options trading on some of the large caps that I hold long term and that I watch for a lot. So I feel like the last thing I want to be doing right now is adding another trading strategy. I just want to keep things a little bit simple in terms of like really get good at one thing first. So that's really what my focus is, and that's what I'm doing here. Still waiting to see if we can get coin to get a move back above 6.6 or so. I'm not sure if we will. Could be a good opportunity to size a little bit more in this area, but I'm going to wait if it pulls back a bit more. Right now we're in one of our longer consolidation phases of the day on coin. So before we had kind of a dead cat bounce channel, one of these classic channels, and we broke that, and then we continued the descent. So now I'm waiting for maybe a new test of the highs. Maybe we're going to get an attempt to break of the 5-minute 9 EMA. Reversals are really tough patterns. They're not really my favorites, but this is just a big support zone that we were talking about. The SPY is, kicking higher as well really nicely. So that's really refreshing. So this one found great support off of 395. I thought it was going to go a little bit lower, but so far it's pushing. So looking to kind of ride this wave, this little front side wave as much as possible, and kind of go from there. AMC down 8% today. Every time I look at I&M, I'm like, wow, how's this ticker still alive? That's really impressive. So this one really just does not want to capitulate. Unfortunately, coin is still pulling back. Luckily, I'm only on like 60% size on this position. Fortunately, it's still pulling back, down 400 on the calls on this one. Possible hammer candle. Oh, by the way, guys, I just came out with a new video on YouTube. Feel free to check it out. Let me know what you guys think. It should have just aired 8 minutes ago. Appreciate any feedback, any comments. It's all about... Wait one sec. I'm just watching this price action. That was a really nice hammer candle on coin, but then it pulled back again a little bit too fast. Anyway, the video is about a false belief that I had that kept me from growing my swing trade IRA portfolio and how I was able to fix that. There's that pullback on coin. So yeah, good thing I didn't go in all size. I have the choice now to start sizing in, but I'm not a big fan of sizing into losers, especially in this market. And since it's not a long time frame trade, it's not another one that I'm super excited about sizing into. So most likely I'll just cut this one. If it was a longer time frame trade, like the one I'm going to actually probably do next on coin, then I would be way more relaxed to size into it slowly. So yeah, unfortunately, this one's still pulling back. Just watching the second screen here in case you guys are wondering. We had a nice hammer candle form there, but pulled back. I'm down probably 1,000. No, I'm down only 600 on this position. It's a smaller size than I keep thinking it is. Coin down on the day 11%. I'm not sure if we're going to get any sort of big bounce back up. I've seen a lot of days like this on coin where it just kind of grinds lower. And once it does bottom out, it doesn't necessarily have a big bounce or a V-shaped recovery. INM, nice breakout at 4.6. Megill's looking at Peggy. Oh boy. I think coin could drop to about 47 today, so that's where I'm going to be looking for a second trade, but it'll probably be after the stream because I'll probably just be a little bit slower. And I usually stop the stream around 10:30. This trade's lasting a little bit longer than I was expecting. Down 750, 800. Starting to cut this position. I think I still have four shares long. I didn't know I had 4 more shares, to be honest. That's funny. Options are so slow compared to trading small caps. So, all right, so it looks like I'm going to end the day down, slightly random down 150 today. You know, we had some okay trades on INM. I never sized on that ticker, so I should have been up like 2,000 on that one. At least I feel like, but you know, it is like deadly small cap season right now. I'll probably wait to do maybe some more trading on coin. I think we could see some really nice setups as the price goes lower. I actually really like this, so I should have sized up, or no, I should have, the size was fine. Everything was good about the size. I should have maybe cut the losses a little bit quicker, but what I did was I allowed myself wiggle room because I didn't size up all the way. Usually I notice when I use smaller size, I start making a lot of weird mistakes like that. Anyway, this could go on for like another 30, 45, an hour. It's so hard to say. So I'm going to wrap up this stream there. For now, it's a red day. If I do enter any more trades, I will be sure to let you guys know. Again, INM was the winner for me, and then coin calls were the loser for me. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I will see you guys. Oh, there, now we finally stopped out of the position. I'll see you guys then first thing tomorrow morning. Like always, guys, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.